second audio device as my headphones. Okay, let me grab my headphones. Let's see here. Okay. And nothing. It's okay. It's okay. I've been doing this every single time. I will figure it out. Sometime... Oh, no, don't close that. I'll figure it out sometime when I'm not streaming. Maybe I'll email you. Ask you for help. Okay. So I can turn that off now. And he's looking pretty decent. So I believe that I am ready to start painting. Let's see, which material should I use? No, not the Mac app. Okay. Poly paint. Oh, before I do this, thank you, Roberto. I'm having a very good day. Okay, so before I start painting this guy, I gotta UV him. And I'm gonna use another ZBrush cheat. The UV Master. And I'm gonna start control painting. Oh, this requires a model with no subdivision levels. Okay. I haven't done this in a really long time. Charizard's unfair popularity, huh? Work on clone. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm nervous to use this. Okay. Let's get back in the basic material. So now I can enable control painting. And I don't want that. I want to RGB, take off the add. Protect. Oops. So I want to protect his face. I don't want that to be chopped up. And maybe his hands. I'm gonna go ahead and erase a little bit. Okay, I'm just gonna run this and see what happens. Oh, shoot. Okay, there we go. Unwrap. How old am I? I am 23. A lot of people ask me that. Let's take a look at the UV map. Morph. Let's take a look. Okay, it could be worse. Let's see. Copy UVs. Here we go. Oh, I do remember how to do this. Okay. Where's my Charizard? Here it is. This is mine. Hopefully. Yes. Okay. Cool. Alright. So create. How do I... Ooh, a procedurally generated exploration game. That sounds awesome. I would love to see that. Okay, let's see. Now I'm gonna go and paste UVs. Let's see if it worked. Okay, I think it did. Morph. There it goes. Alrighty. And we are ready to paint. We got our UVs all laid out, very sloppily, done with ZBrush's UV Master. And that's really all that we need for these purposes. Okay. Let's get painting. I'm gonna put it on matte cap. Is that what I wanted? Yeah, the matte cap white. And poly paint. Oh, it's already colorized. And let's try and pick a color that looks Charizard-like. This is looking pretty good. And I'm just gonna start slapping paint on him. I could probably just use the fill button, but I didn't think of that. Hollow tree sounds cool. I can't wait to check it out later. I will have to remember. Shape of the World builds on the ideas of experiential games like Journey, Flower, and Proteus. Ooh, I love those games, where health hearts and kill points don't enter the equation. It's an evolving world that grows with each step and hints at distant landmarks, encouraging you to delve deeper into the woods. Shape of the World offers a unique unfolding experience for those seeking an alternative to quest-driven adventure games. That sounds like the kind of game that I am looking for when I just want, like, something relaxing, something that I can spend as much or as little time on it as I want. It sounds great. What am I doing with the inflate brush? Why am I not using the standard brush? That's better. That sounds really cool. It sounds like, you know, they're kind of creating this dream world a little bit. And that's really neat. That would be really fun to explore. Oops. Well, I wonder if the back of his wings are supposed to be orange. I didn't really think of that. Probably also should turn on back face masking. There we go. Yeah, that's better. Google tells me they're orange. Perfect. So I just painted the back of that for no reason. That's okay. No big deal. Just blocking out colors right now. That makes more sense. That looks really weird, having the back of his wings green. I do have Instagram. Just Elaloon Designs, I think, on Instagram. I haven't been on much lately. No, by all means, add me on Instagram. I'm on Twitter and Facebook as well. And if you go to my website, I have a bunch of little social media buttons. Yeah, I was just saying, in case anybody's wondering, I don't know, I can't see who's watching, so if anybody has not yet found me on Twitter, I go on Twitter all the time, so I love Twitter. Add me on Twitter. Alright, he's looking a little too bright orange to me, so I'm going to go ahead and sort of start dulling him down. Thanks for sharing the links, guys. Not digging this material. I gotta find something better that I can see what I'm doing a little bit better. I guess skin shader will work for now. Thanks, Roberto. Roberto is awesome, everybody. So follow him on Twitter as well. Yeah, a lot of people miss out on my streams, even though I've been streaming pretty often lately, but if you get notifications, it'll help out a lot. And it makes me super happy. Yes, it is pretty much just practice. I'm not really doing this for anything in specific. It was like kind of a way for me to get more practice with sculpting creatures and painting textures. Oops. So yeah, for right now I'm just kind of blocking out colors, and then I'll go back in later with some details, like I'll go back in and add the highlights and shadows, and that's just my process anyways. I'm pretty sure it's a fairly universal process. I'm starting to realize that no matter what you're doing, it's just a matter of starting fairly general, whether you're painting or sculpting or whatever. Start out pretty broad and then just keep adding detail. So I'm going to lay down all the colors and then I'm going to go back in and add some details. Oh, and, let me see. Yeah, that's exactly it. I'm constantly, like... Well, Twitch has helped me to want to play, games for entertainment a lot more often these days, but generally my entertainment is just sculpting stuff or modeling stuff that has no purpose, but it's something that I just want to try out, and that's how I have fun. Hey Zombie Slayer, how you doing tonight? Thanks for joining us. Do I have Cinema 4D? I don't think I do. No, I have a lot of softwares. And I have a lot of softwares that I haven't even really used, but I do not believe I have Cinema 4D. I'd be happy to learn more about it, though. Oops. Uh-oh. Didn't mean to do that. What are my favorite subjects to model? That's a good question. I really like to do pretty much everything. I'm an environmental artist by trade, but I really love to do characters. It's kind of what I'm more passionate about. But I like to do a little bit of everything. Yeah, as for Cinema 4D, I heard that it's pretty good. I don't really use any other renderers other than Maya. Maya has Mental Ray, which I love, so I haven't really bothered like delving into some of the other softwares that you could use to do it, but I probably should. I love to get requests and suggestions from people, but if I end up getting too many, I can't make any promises, but yeah, go ahead and make suggestions. I love getting ideas from people. Oh, have a good night. Thanks for stopping. Ooh, Pyramid Head. That would be awesome. You know, I always wondered, like, in those games that have, like, super terrifying stuff in them, I always wondered, like, I wonder what it's like to be that person that sat there modeling that horrible, disgusting thing for hours and hours and hours, and who textured that? How terrifying would that be? And now I'm working on a horror game, so I guess maybe I'll have the chance to find out. Thank you, Diakun. Is that how you pronounce it? Seer from Final Fantasy Tactics? I'll look into that. Just so you guys know, this concept, the concept art of Charizard is by an amazing artist. His name is R.J. Palmer, and he goes by the name of Arvelous sometimes online. So you should definitely check him out. He was kind enough to give me the permission to use his art. And I promised him that I would let everybody know exactly who made the art. I definitely don't want to give people the impression that I created this amazing painting. I like to think I'm pretty decent at modeling and sculpting and stuff, but I'm not as confident in my digital painting skills, sadly. Oh yes, Roberto, please. That would be great. Yeah, I just started by blocking out some colors, Daikun, in case that's what you were asking. And then I just slowly go in and I add more and more detail, and it takes a while. I was a little nervous to start streaming because in my YouTube videos it looks a lot cooler to speed things up, and so I was worried that this would be boring, but yeah, it is a lengthy process. It takes a few hours here and there to get any of this stuff done, but that's pretty much how it goes. So right now I'm kind of starting to add a little bit more shadow kind of detail. And then I'll probably go in and do some highlights to balance it out. Oh, thanks, Roberto. I will totally check him out and contact him about that. That would be super fun. Cool, 14 people. I'm glad to have you guys with me. It makes it so much more fun to sculpt and do this stuff when I have people to hang out with. So thank you all for joining me. The wings in the picture, I don't really know. They might be transparent, but obviously I can't make mine transparent in ZBrush. But that's something I could probably go in and do, you know, kind of post-processing sort of stuff. So I'm going to paint them to kind of give them that effect as much as possible. But other than that, I'm not making the wings transparent right now. Yeah, like, I might do that later in Maya. Um, oops. How is UE4, by the way? Oh, UE4, Unreal Engine 4 is amazing. You should totally try it out if you are into game development at all. Oh my god, it's awesome. And it's free now, so that's even more amazing. Do you do any coding or work with a programmer who likes us, dislikes it? For the most part, I haven't met anybody who does not like Unreal 4, to be honest. I'm sure there's someone out there. The only other major contender seems to be Unity, and a lot of indie studios will use Unity. I imagine that the licensing is probably a lot cheaper with Unity, but yeah, I definitely prefer Unreal 4. Oh, Roberto, I will definitely say hi. He's still playing Heroes.
Right here.
I might force him to play Minecraft with me later. Yeah, I've noticed that a lot of Unity games are mobile games. So yeah, that makes sense. He is kind of like a Komodo dragon. Yeah, the artist I was talking about earlier. He does like a whole series. He even has like a book of these realistic Pokemon, he calls them, and they're amazing. So definitely go check them out. In a perfect world, I would sculpt and texture all of his Pokemon concepts. I don't know if I'll have time for that, but that will be the goal. They're awesome. And I kind of took a class on like making fake creatures based on real animal anatomy, and I would have to say that Arbalest has nailed it for the most part with these Pokemon. They're really awesome. I think you can search him on YouTube. Just search RJ Palmer or Arvalis. Arvalis is like his online name. I know he's on DeviantArt. If anybody out there is on DeviantArt, he goes by Arvalis on GA. There's a new Kingdom Hearts game that's going to be on mobile? Nobody told me this. Of course it's playable in Japan only. They always do that to us, don't they? Never US exclusive. Of course not. I've learned a little bit of Japanese, but it's hard to like teach yourself a language and stay motivated enough to get good at it. But I happen to be part Japanese, so it came kind of easy to me, and I don't know if that is the genetics playing into it, but Japanese, a lot of people say it's really hard, but I did not find it to be a terribly difficult language. If anything, it's a much simpler language. It's just very different. Thank you, Killer Mike. Let me zoom out so I can show you guys kind of like the progress I'm making here. Still kind of blocky, but it's starting to get there. Got some funky topology going on in there. Oh well. No. Oops, I just got rid of my image there. Okay, Roberto, have a good night. Thank you for stopping by and for joining us. Talk to you later. Eighteen-year-old who is trying to get into the business. Are you looking to be a game developer or an artist? You kind of have to pick and choose what you want to focus on, because no matter what you're doing, it's going to be a lot of work and it's going to be difficult to learn. So first piece of advice would be to put a lot of thought into what you want to focus on. So have you thought about that at all? Like if you'd want to do the art or the programming side of things? I mean, some people do both, but it's hard. And you got to start somewhere, right? Okay, so as for being a modeler, what software do you use? I would recommend just like getting as much work in your portfolio as possible. Well, that's good. You've got the basic tools down. Maya 3ds Max and ZBrush are definitely the industry standards these days, so you're on the right track for sure. If you're looking to get hired by a company, there's a ridiculous amount of competition. So it really depends on your situation. If you can afford to, start doing some freelance work, working for, maybe startup companies, then you'd be golden, because the big employers want to see ship titles under your belt and years of experience. So just keep working on your portfolio and adding things. Never stop practicing. Hence Charizard over here. I actually just graduated from college with my game art degree, and I just dove right into freelance work and portfolio work. I've talked to a lot of companies and a lot of employers, and I've gotten a lot of advice, but I'm just trying to have fun with what I'm doing. I love what I do, so it's not really work for me. And the goal is to someday be making games of my own. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Thank you. I hope I do too. But for now, I'm just kind of having fun with it, and I really encourage you to enjoy what you do, no matter what it is you choose to do. I mean, we're into this because we want to make video games, right? So it should be fun. Oh, and if I could give you another piece of advice, it would be to network. In this industry especially, it's a lot of your luck rides on the people you know. If you know the right people, you're probably going to fare a lot better in the job department. So don't be afraid to get out there and socialize with the right people and network, because a lot of times if you get a job, it has to do with the people that you know and, you know, the connections you've made. So I would keep that in mind. Speaking of music, I don't know what I'm listening to here, but I'm not feeling it. I'm gonna go with Cone Sound. I love Cone Sound. Progressive rock and metal are great too, but I'm really into the electronic productivity music. If you get my meaning. Yeah, sorry, I have terrible audio set up. I'm working on it still. But I totally recommend Cone Sound. I love their music. Oh, yeah, I haven't saved in a while. ZBrush crashes a lot, so I highly recommend saving often. Oh. Not really liking this yellow color for the highlights here. Yuck. Gonna dull that down a bit. It's just a little too intense, maybe. A finished model that I made. Yeah, I could grab my alien. One second. Okay. Let's see here. Not sure if this is the painted one. There it is. So this is my alien. He's in my portfolio quite a bit. Let's see. I can't remember what material I used for this guy. No, that's a metal material. That doesn't work. I think the problem is I downloaded a material for it. Skin. So yeah. I didn't paint his eyes, so, or her eyes rather. But this was another thing I just kind of did for fun. So yeah, thank you. I tried to go, I was working on colors in particular actually, so I was trying to come up with something a little unique. And it, for some reason, looks crazy different depending on the type of material that I put on it. But you get the gist of it. Oh, reflective plastic. I think that was the one that I liked. I had a lot of fun with this one. It was something I stayed up until like a ridiculously late hour, like 4 a.m. sculpting it because I just could not stop. So there's that. Rated Pokemon, Charizard, open. There we go. Yeah, I was kind of going for like an old shamaness, like alien sort of thing. I don't know. I just that was a spontaneous sculpt where I didn't really have any plan for it. I just sort of sculpted it. Now, what material was I using for this? Just the skin shader, I think. This is a really weird shader, which is good for painting, I found, but it looks weird. It's not really, you know, how it's gonna look when it's finished. But it's good for painting. Okay. Oh my gosh, it's almost midnight, so I'm gonna do this for maybe 5 more minutes, and then I don't know, I'm getting kind of tired. I really wanted to play some Minecraft tonight. So maybe I'll do that. Why is the material not saved with the model? This is just ZBrush. So basically what I'm doing is I'm laying down color information. So, for example, here's what I painted so far. Let me see if I can. Well, it's kind of small, so I apologize. But so basically, I'm laying down the color information, and then I'm also losing my voice. And then the materials. ZBrush does this thing where it kind of like preview renders the materials, and they have different like reflective properties. So like this one is skeleton, and if you use this material on something, you say you're sculpting a skeleton, you would want to use the skeleton material because it renders to look just like bone. And then you've got your more metallic ones. So if I wanted, it doesn't look right because I painted him already, but if you want something to be more reflective, like metal, you got that. So this is a metal material, and it's just a preview. I like it, but anyways, I'm pretty sure you can save the materials as like an MTL file or something based on, you know, how you're going to export it, but I, for the most part, only use ZBrush materials as a preview, and then I'll go in and I'll make my own materials in Maya if I want to render it. So for that, I'll usually, it's a complicated process, but I'll usually go in and I'll make a roughness map, which will tell the model how shiny to be in what places, and then there's, you know, all different kinds of things. I'll stream that whole process sometime as well, but for now, we're just gonna paint. Oh, I lost my, no, I want texture off. There we go. That's better. I was like, why is it not working? Okay. Alright. So he's not finished yet, but I think I'm gonna stop here for tonight. Hopefully continue to stream this tomorrow or whenever I get to it. I have a lot of work to do for other projects. But I just like to do this kind of thing. For anyone who's following me on Patreon, please check out my Patreon. It would mean a lot to me. But I've been posting this guy and my progress on there a lot, so I want to keep up with it, and I want to finish it for my wonderful, wonderful, wonderful patrons. But I do have a lot of stuff going on. I don't know how I keep track of it all. So I don't know if I will get to streaming this tomorrow or the next day, but I will let you all know. And I'm going to save this, and I might hop on Minecraft for a little bit before I pass out, and I will put it in the link. Let's see. Can I type a link in the chat, I wonder? Patreon.com/Ellaloon. Very simple. Okay, so there it is. There's my Patreon. If anybody, it's no obligation, but if anybody feels like supporting me, that would be a great way to do it, to help me to devote more time to, you know, making art. So, oh, and I'm pretty sure you can follow as well, without subscribing or pledging, whatever it's called. But thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight, you guys. It's been a lot of fun, and I hope you guys I hope you have already followed me on Twitch, but I stream pretty much every day since I got on, so keep your eye out for me. I love having you guys around. And I think that's it for tonight, so bye guys!